Welcome to the Crack House Chronicles, your favorite true crime podcast. I am Donnie, and with me is a man that wants everyone to know that the older he gets, the more he understands why his grandparents mumbled under their breath. It's Dale.
I mumble without under my breath. Ask my wife.
You just ever get mad and just walk off mumbling?
I'm the mumbler.
Are you?
The mumbler, yeah. What'd you say?
Mumbler. Yeah, what did you say?
Yeah, I was saying mumble, but I was saying mumble really, mumbly.
Or it could be that thing of where she says, "Were you talking to me?"
No, I was not. I was talking to myself.
Yeah, just talking to myself.
I'm just talking to myself.
That's right. What's going on, dude?
What's up, man? Same old, same old.
Same old, same old.
You know how it is.
That's right.
I think we've got to make us a shirt that says same old, same old.
We got to make us a shirt that says that.
Get you a nud, or something like that.
Yeah, nothing. Or like we say, another one here in these parts, but we say a nuddin.
That's right. It'd be like a nuddin bites the dust if we were queen. Just writing you song.
Yeah, that's the redneck version
That's
of
right.
a nuddin bites the dust.
They didn't got him.
Yeah. Dude, you got any shout outs or anybody you want to mention before we get going on this episode?
How about that?
Look at there.
Oh, dude. We got a couple of 5-star.
I'm going to tell you 5-star, 5-star.
Attaboy.
These people have been dropping these 5 stars like hotcakes.
I thought you were going to say like flies.
No, not like flies, but we'll go with hotcakes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. This is good stuff, man. All right, we got 2. So I'm going to bust them off right here. We have one from Tar Heel Arcade 2. Says, great job. These guys do a great job with their podcast. Research well, and presentation is done well. Audio quality is on spot. Keep up the good work.
Well, we know who that is.
We do. Shout out to Randolph. Anyway. And,
Randolph.
He'll dig that. And no, we had another 5-star.
5-star.
From NC Girl Mom. It says, new listener and love it. Just found this podcast and I love it. I'm a huge true crime fan and y'all do a great job. That y'all gives you away, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
That's North Carolina girl right there.
Y'all do a great job. I live in North Carolina too, so I love hearing all your North Carolina references.
Well.
See, I should have said, dang, we got a nuddin.
A nuddin. Well, we got a North Carolina case this week too. So
we got a nuddin, don't we?
We do.
That's right.
That's right. But if anybody wants to be like those fine folks and go to Apple Podcast and leave a rate and review, you will get a shout out just like these people did.
That's right. And if you want to be like Sean Davies Hatton over in the UK and pick yourself up a t-shirt, you can do that as well.
That's right. Or you can do it over here in the United States too.
That's right. You can do it wherever you want to do it.
Yeah. They will deliver.
Yeah, we're not haters on people doing it.
And every once in a while, if you'll check our TeePublic t-shirt site, they do put on a sale every once in a while.
That's right.
You can get them at a discounted rate.
You can get them cheap, man. Instead of what is it like? Instead of a regular 22, you can get it for like $16.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a bargain.
It is a bargain. And plus you help support the Crack House and keep the lights on.
Right, and you can have a picture of us on you if you want to.
Oh, man.
Well, you can have a picture of the house or a picture of this, picture of that.
Or just the word Crack House Chronicles.
Oh, yeah. Whatever you need. We got you covered.
We do. And the shirt will cover you too.
Oh,
we got a joke for everything.
That's it, man. Quick on our feet.
But other than that, dude, if you got anything else to say, we're going to get going on this episode.
Well, I reckon we can just get a rolling in.
Because we've got a North Carolina case, and I'm going to tell you, Dale studying this case, it has pissed him off.
Dude, this damn thing. The more I learn about it, the madder I get.
Yeah.
There's some fishy shit going on.
They are some fishy stuff going on.
It's making me say beep words. You might have to get the beeper out for this one.
May have to. But in this episode, we are talking about a guy by the name of Matt Stewart.
Right.
Yep. But his full name was Matthew Ryan Stewart. Was born on March the 14th, 1978. And he was a resident of Mooresville, North Carolina.
Yeah, it's not far down the road.
No, just a little over an hour maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But he was the son of Michael and Bonnie Stewart of Mooresville. And he lived there pretty much all his life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he was a graduate of Mooresville Senior High School and Mitchell Community College, where he obtained an associate's degree in nursing. And it had been reported that Matt was just a very outgoing guy. He was very athletic. He played sports in high school. He was very good at soccer, and it wasn't nothing for him to get in a pickup game of basketball or soccer or anybody in the neighborhood just doing that kind of stuff. He was very athletic.
Yeah, whether it was just the kids wanting to play around with them or the big game or whatever, he was down for it.
Yeah, he was. But everybody just loved Matt. He was just a great guy, all around good guy. And nobody ever had a bad thing to say about him.
Right, yeah, basically a big kid, you know.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I can relate.
Yeah, that's me too.
Yeah.
we're just going to talk a little bit about Mooresville, North Carolina, for anybody that doesn't know this, not from North Carolina, but the town of Mooresville is located in the southwestern part of Iredell County here in North Carolina.
Just right outside of Charlotte.
Yes. And it is part of the fast-growing Charlotte metropolitan area. And the population was 50,193 in the 2020 census. Actually making it the most populous municipality in Iredell County.
Right, because in 2010 it was about 30,000 people, so it's really grown.
It has, and it's approximately 25 miles just north of Charlotte. So this makes a good commute into Charlotte for anybody that's wanting to work in Charlotte and not actually live in the city. So it'd be a good place to raise a family and wouldn't have the hustle and bustle of downtown Charlotte.
Yeah, very much so. And it's also referred to as Race City, USA, because of all the NASCAR teams and Indy teams, drivers, and all that live in the area.
Yeah, a lot of those type of people live out there in Mooresville.
Yeah, a lot of people go down that way just to go visit a lot of those race shops, and they're pretty impressive. I've been to a few.
Yeah, pretty nice. But getting back to Matt Stewart, it was by the early 2000s, Dale. Matt was going to church and doing the right thing, and he became infatuated with a girl who was going to the church there he was going to. And her name was Angela Hare, Haire.
Correct.
Yeah, but she went by Angel.
Right.
And they hit it off pretty good. They seemed to get along pretty good, but Angel had a daughter from a previous relationship, and her name was Hannah.
Right.
But her and Matt started dating, and within months, they got engaged to be married.
Right. Yeah. Well, he was working in the nursery in the church, and with the young people anyway. And he was taking care of the daughter. And he said later on, after they started dating for a while, he said, "Yes, you're taking care of her, but I was just in here so I could talk to your mom."
Wow.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a little thing. That was all cool,
But like I said, they got engaged and they got married.
Maybe.
And Matt actually ended up adopting Hannah,
right,
and raising her as his own, which is awesome to step up like that.
Said that right.
Yep. But over the next few years, Matt and Angel, they had 2 more kids. They had a daughter and then a son.
Correct.
Yep. And by all accounts, they were extremely happy.
Very much so.
They were content, and both Matt and Angel, they had gotten jobs as nurses. Matt was working at Lake Norman Regional Medical Center. This was in Mooresville, and Angel was working at a hospital in Charlotte.
Yeah, which was probably much bigger than his, but I assume.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one, but most of them are pretty big.
But Matt's coworkers would recount that he didn't socialize much outside of work. He would spend a lot of his free time with his family. As soon as he got off, he would go home.
Right.
He didn't want to go out with anybody after work, which heck, I don't either.
I get it.
Yeah, I want to get home.
Once if he was working, he's probably working 7 to 7, 12-hour shifts during the day. By the time he got home, he probably wasn't doing a whole lot, and then he'd spend his days off with his family.
But his coworker said he was very outgoing. He loved practical jokes. He loved to tease people and would just hide stuff from them and just like little practical jokes kind of thing.
I think he was known to do the alcohol foam in pockets or down the back of the shirt, and then taping up doorways, and when you walk out the door, open the door and walk into a wall of tape, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nothing hurt nobody, just fun, having fun.
Just fun stuff.
Yeah.
But Matt and Angel, they lived in the Gabriel Estates subdivision in the northern Mooresville area. And they actually lived on Shepherd Hill Drive at 158 Shepherd Hill Drive there in Gabriel Estates. And they had a modest 2-story house. It was a really nice house. I've seen this house online. And it was had an attached garage and really nice neighborhood, upper middle class neighborhood.
Yep, pretty cool.
It is.
We'll post a picture of that house.
But nothing in this neighborhood, Dale, would indicate that anything bad would happen. It's just neighbors getting along, and it was just a nice little area. And nothing ever happened in this neighborhood.
Yeah, pretty much everybody knew everybody, just hanging out in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I think there's like 2 ways to come in, and there's like a couple cul-de-sacs, or one way to come in and then a couple cul-de-sacs, and then roads to go around. So it's kind of like everybody in the neighborhood probably knew each other.
Yeah. But we're moving up to June the 9th of 2009.
Okay.
And this is just a little after midnight. It's about 12:40 a.m.
Which was a Monday night going into Tuesday.
Yeah. There in the Stewart household, there was something going on. But what exactly happened has never really been cleared up. And
Yeah.
Yeah, which we're going to try to get into.
Yeah, we're going to tell the story, and then we're going to get into some stuff.
Yeah. Matt and Angel's oldest daughter, Hannah, she was at a friend's house for a sleepover.
Yeah, just down in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, just right down the street.
Yeah.
And they had been friends. Hannah had been friends with this little girl for quite a while, but the two other kids there that they had were still at the home.
Correct.
Yeah. And at some point during the night, Matt had got up and got the younger son. I don't know if he was having some trouble sleeping or what, but
he was fairly young, right?
yeah, he was almost an infant.
Right, and the other child was like 3.
Yes.
Okay.
But Matt had ended up getting up and getting the little boy and taking him back to their bedroom to put him in the bed with them, I guess, so they could get some sleep.
Correct.
Because, they being nurses, you're working long hours, you got to do what you got to do to get some sleep.
12-hour shifts be rough.
Yeah. So it wasn't long after this, there seemed to be a dark presence there in the master bedroom. Yeah. And they were asleep, and Matt was reportedly hit by a bullet. Yeah. And he jumped up and started struggling with an unknown intruder.
Right. So like basically somebody just walked in the bedroom and started shooting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he wrestled him into a nearby bathroom. I guess this might have been the master bathroom right off.
It's probably
bedroom.
in the same
Yeah.
room, right?
Yeah, it probably was. But they got into a scuffle. So Angel, she was actually hit with a bullet too.
Yeah. Well, she was grazed.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what you hear. It's been a shot in the wrist, shot in the arm, shot in the hand, grazed. So the severity is up for interpretation.
But most of the things I've read and said that she was grazed on the wrist.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Like where you would wear a sweatband on your wrist in that area.
Okay.
Yeah. But she was hit with a bullet on the wrist. But she grabbed up the little boy and got out.
Yeah. And from her account, she was said like while Matt was kind of wrestling with the guy, he had screamed to her to get out.
Yeah.
So I guess he was like, I'm being the protector here.
Mm-hmm. So she was able to get out of the house. She left through the front door and went to the neighbor across the road.
Right. That would be the Lawson's house.
Mike Lawson. And it would be later reported that Mike Lawson told reporters for WBTV News there in Charlotte that Angel showed up at his doorstep holding their youngest son, and she was covered in blood.
At 12:45.
Yep. And he was quoted as saying she rang the doorbell, and then she came to the door and she looked at me and said she'd been shot.
Right.
And this was right at 12:45.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So 911 was called at this time, and officers were dispatched.
They were. And they got there in 4 minutes.
Approximately 12:49.
Yeah, just 4 minutes later.
4 minutes. I mean, holy moly. Were they just sitting outside the road or what? I mean...
yeah, they had to, man. But when they got there to Gabriel Estates and there at 158 Shepherd Hill Drive, everything was quiet.
Yes.
There was no sign of anything. You couldn't tell anything that went wrong.
Right.
Or anything had happened. And there was no sign of the intruder that they'd reported, that fired at them in the bedroom or anything.
Mm-hmm.
There was no sign of Matt or anything.
Right.
And also, Dale, there was no sign of their middle child.
Yes.
Yeah. Angel, when she fled the house, she left the middle child in her bedroom.
Yeah, basically she said, she had just jumped up and grabbed the child, who later they said, a bullet only missed him by inches. No, I don't know.
How they knew that, I don't know.
Yeah, right. But that was her account. And she grabbed him up while the wrestling match or whatever was going on, the fight for his life, and ran down the steps, out the front door. She said she undone the deadbolt and ran across the road and had them call.
Yes.
So that's where we are. Cops show up in 4 minutes.
That's right.
4 minutes is amazing.
Yeah. So over the next 20 minutes or so, there were more officers arriving there at the scene.
Yeah, I think 2 cars showed up, really, really fast. One there and then one other one right behind it. And then I don't know how many after that. But 2 were there really, really fast.
And they were just hanging outside the Stewart home, and nothing was changing.
Yeah.
And there was no sign of anything going on inside the house. And the officers there, they began to fear that there was some kind of hostage situation going on because they couldn't see anything happening. And they got there within just, like you said, 4 minutes. So how would anybody had time to leave?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or get away with anybody seeing anything.
Exactly.
Now, this is one thing that gets me, Dale. It wasn't until 2:30 a.m. that the officers, they decided to enter the house.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when they were waiting and just waiting, they called the special response team to come out. I guess when they decided they thought it was a hostage situation. And then I think they didn't get there till about 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then after that, it wasn't until, I mean, it was almost 2 hours before they decided to go in the house.
100 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost 2 hours.
Right.
And standing out there not seeing anything, you're not hearing any gunshots. The gunshots already been taken. They've already fired.
Yeah, and remember, this dude was fighting for his life. His not blood. There's gunshots went off. I mean, all this big fight. And that baby girl is still in this house.
Yeah, and Mike Lawson said that Angel was covered in blood.
Yes.
So.
But he also said that she never said anything about the little girl being in the house.
Never.
So I guess maybe I don't know. This
is one thing that pisses Dale off.
Don't get me started.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the officers, they decided to go in the house at 2:30 a.m.
Holy moly.
And within moments, they would discover Matt's body.
Yes.
In the upstairs bathroom. And his body was covered in blood.
Oh, yeah.
It was a pretty violent attack.
Very. Very, very.
And it was reported he had died attempting to save the lives of his family.
Yeah, he's being a hero, man.
He was,
That's
yeah.
what you do, huh?
And it was a minute later, another call would come over the radio reporting that a child had been found inside the home.
Yeah, unscathed.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was fine.
Yeah, Matt and Angel's youngest daughter had been left inside the home during all this and was brought out unharmed.
Yeah. In fact, it was reported that she had slept through the entire ordeal.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. Blows my mind. I don't know. I mean, and there's this is tried to be explained a bunch of different ways, and we've listened to a lot of stuff, and I don't get it. I don't see. I don't know.
I don't know motherly instincts. You know, how would Angel take one child and not the other, or just trying to get out, or Matt telling her just to go?
Right. Now, see, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of conflicted about this because I understand you done been shot, you're scared to death, grab a kid and run out the door. But having kids myself, it's like, how do you leave one behind?
Exactly.
Unless you just, I mean, I don't know. To me, I'm going to die trying to save my kids. I don't give a damn. I ain't leaving them.
But the autopsy would reveal that Matt's death had been more violent than originally expected. Him been shot several times and stabbed several times.
Yeah, and then depending how you look at it, there's different reports, but we're going to go with 6, I think, gunshot wounds.
Yeah.
But some were through and through, and some have reported it was up to 10, but I don't know. I don't think it was actually 10 fired bullets.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
And he'd been stabbed at least a dozen times.
Yeah.
To his neck, jaw, ear, and head, with cuts and scrapes to his upper extremities.
This must have been a hell of a fight.
It must have been.
But the whole thing is weird to me, man, because like I said before, if I'm the intruder and I'm going in somebody's house and you asleep and I walk in your bedroom, you ain't getting out of that bed. If I got a gun and I'm going to kill you, I don't know, man.
You're not coming out of the bed. I'm going to be firing shots at you.
You just walk in and start. I mean, especially if you got guns and knives, and I mean, you coming there for a reason. You ain't coming to see what's in the refrigerator. You know what I mean? You ain't coming there to see if you can find something. Right? You coming to take somebody out. If you come in there and they asleep in the bed, you walk up in the door and they still sleep, and you just start shooting.
Yeah, you're not coming out of that bed.
Right.
I agree with you.
But I don't know. It's pretty wild here. I mean, especially when he's shot all these times and she gets one little graze on her arm and she's gone.
Yeah.
Now, maybe we got a blind shooter and he just nicked him the first time, and he's quick because he's a very athletic guy. Maybe he rolls out and dodges the next one or something. But if you're in a dead sleep, I don't know, dude. It's a lot of this damn story bothers me.
But see, all we're getting is Angel's account.
This is true.
Of this.
The whole thing.
This is her story that she's telling.
Right. All right, go on, because I keep getting sidetracked.
Well, I mean, it's okay because, like I said, this is what Angel is told and reported, and I'm sure they can corroborate some of this with some of the crime scene stuff that they're looking at, with blood cast off and blood splatter and, the bullet trajectories and things like that they're looking at. And another thing that gets me is this 4-minute timeline.
Yeah.
Angel calling, and then they get in there 4 minutes, but how long did it take her to get out of the house and to get across the road to the neighbor?
And in one take, we've heard her say when she was going across the road, she heard the final shot. How in the hell did she know?
Exactly.
And if she heard a shot run across the road, how come the kid didn't hear the shot in the next bedroom?
Yeah.
6 of them.
At least
And
6
we're talking
shots,
like
yeah.
40 caliber here.
38 and 40 caliber.
Yeah, and then, 2 different calibers. We'll get into that. But
Yeah.
2 different calibers, so we're talking 2 different guns. Okay,
Yeah, so this perpetrator had 2 different guns and a knife.
Well, somebody did.
Yeah. So, according to Angel, it was around 12:40. According to her.
When this happened?
Yeah.
Well, that could be possible. Because she got across the road at 12:45.
Yeah.
So,
But, you've talked about this, and she could have manipulated this timeline.
oh yeah, we're gonna get into that because I got some conspiracy theories for this.
Yeah.
Mess. I mean, and it's all opinionated stuff, so nothing corroborated. But hell, you got to do something because all we have is her account of this, and it's a lot of weird stuff going on here. A lot.
Now, it was learned that 2 separate firearms had been used in the commission of this crime.
Yes.
And during the autopsy, both a 38 and 40 caliber bullets would be recovered from Matt's body. And this concluded that 2 separate firearms had been used in the crime.
Right.
And there were some people theorized this might have been due to there being 2 gunmen
I guess
in the house.
I guess it's possible.
Because you think about it, one person carrying 2 guns and a knife, that's a lot of armor to
Right.
be walking around with. If that's just one gunman.
The autopsy also showed that the gunshots were to his head, neck, chest, back, arm, with one gunshot hitting his spinal column, severing his brainstem, a wound that would, almost kill him right off the bat if he wasn't already dead. And on top of this, all those stab wounds, his neck, jaw, and his hand, and lots of cuts to his hands and fingers, which, would mean defensive wounds. And then also on top of that, there was some blunt force trauma to several parts of him, it's just,
like punches and kicks and things like that.
yeah, it's just like, it's just overkill. That's the only word I can find. It's ridiculous. All this, I don't know, especially if it's supposed to be a so-called home invasion where then nothing was stolen.
Yeah, nothing was stolen.
Right, and that's bullshit too.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But them saying that, possibly 2 gunmen, there was the idea that maybe one came to the aid of another when they started struggling with Matt. But
if you got 2 gunmen, it's going to be double fast to me.
Yeah.
I don't buy the 2 gunman story.
But authorities have released no information pointing in any direction like that at all.
They ain't released a whole lot of nothing.
No. But as far as anyone knows, there was just one killer in the house.
Yeah, according to Angel.
Yes.
And she said when she woke up, basically, she just seen a figure in the doorway.
A dark figure.
Tall, dark figure.
Yes.
Yeah. And he just started shooting. So I'm thinking, even if you saw that, if he starts shooting, them flashes are going to go off, and that's going to blind you anymore, especially if it's dark and you're asleep.
That's right.
So it's just, I don't know, dude.
I know. But now, Angel was taken to the hospital, and she was treated for her wrist wound.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mooresville has police baffled tonight. Investigators are trying to figure out who shot a father of 3 in his own home and why. Crime Tracker 36 reporter Alex Reed was the first reporter on the scene this morning. He's live with more on what police are doing to dig up clues.
Well, right now, state and local investigators are going through every single inch of this house. They're trying to find any sort of evidence that could give them some sort of clue as to who could have done this or why. Right now, neighbors and friends say they are baffled. They can't understand why anyone would target a family that spent their lives serving others, break into their house, and shoot them.
The wife was screaming that she had got shot.
Just after midnight, wife Angel Stewart ran to her neighbor's home for help.
As she was grabbing the baby and running, Matt went after the guy, and from what I understand, they shot him in the heart.
She told police she woke up in bed and was shot in the arm by an intruder.
Right now, we just really have nothing solid to go on.
When police arrived, they found 31-year-old father of 3, Matthew Stewart, dead in his upstairs bathroom.
This is not the type of typical crime that we have in Mooresville, and especially not in this neighborhood.
Investigators say there is no sign of forced entry, and they can't tell if anything's missing from the home. Right now, they are just as baffled as neighbors.
I just couldn't believe it. It just doesn't seem real.
One thing neighbors do know is that the father, who coached soccer and worked as a nurse at a local hospital, spent his final moments doing what he's always done, helping others.
That's right, protecting his family.
The wife and mother here, who goes by Angel, was treated and released from the hospital. 2 of her kids were home at the time of the attack. They were not hurt. The 3rd is with their mother right now. They are all, again, going to be fine. We can tell you police are bringing an explosive sniffing dog up from Alabama here tomorrow. They're hoping this dog can find some bullet casings in the yard or in the area, and they hope that will lead to some more clues for them. Reporting live from our mobile newsroom in Mooresville, Alex Reed, News Channel 36.
And we can.
So the day after the incident, Dale, there was a Captain Thomas Thompson of the Mooresville Police Department. He would tell the press that, quote, right now we have nothing solid to go on. This is not the type of typical crime that we would have in Mooresville, and especially not in this neighborhood. He was quoted as saying that.
Well, hell, you got that right.
Yeah, and the police, they expanded the crime scene outward.
Mm-hmm.
And this included the entire neighborhood of Gabriel Estates and all around.
Yeah.
And they started interviewing neighbors and everything.
Yeah, see what they heard.
Yeah, the neighbors didn't hear a thing.
Not a damn thing.
Nothing. You got gunshots going off next door, and they're not hearing anything.
Nobody heard nothing.
Mm-mm.
No dogs raising hell, no nothing.
There was one neighbor that was up, and he had his window up and didn't hear anything.
Yeah, the one that was doing the molding.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was replacing some molding. Said he had the windows open and had the lights on. Of course, which would be where you wouldn't really be able to see that well out the window. But if all the windows are up, and because he was using varnish or something, so he had all the windows up. Never heard a thing.
Nothing. And to make all this more complicated, there was no sign of forced entry into the house.
Nope.
Nothing.
Nothing.
But it appeared that the back door would be unlocked.
Correct.
Which is pretty abnormal, because they typically made sure they locked up before they went to bed every night.
Yeah, the only thing that would make sense to that is if that's how whoever was there left.
Yes. Left through that door.
Right.
But you'd think with the killer, they would have been able to track the way they went, at least through blood steps or something. They had blood on drops going somewhere.
Well, I think they did find some blood on the back on that door, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's so much conflicting evidence here, and then so much stuff that don't make any damn sense at all.
Yeah. And it would be theorized that this is how the killer made their escape, running off into the woods behind the house through that back door.
Right.
And there was a nearby highway that was just behind the house.
Yeah, but it was like you had to go through like a berm and then over that thing, and then there were some more houses, and you had to go through some side yards and into a road. So it's not like the road was just right there.
Yeah.
So it was possible, but not easily traversed.
Yeah. It'd been a heck of a haul.
Yeah.
Just to get the heck out of Dodge right through there.
And what are you going to do? Leave your car on the side of the road when you got 14 cops coming in there?
I don't know, dude. That right there in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'd had to, I don't know, if they came in from different directions, they'd have had to pass something.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Yeah.
Or you'd think they would. I mean, as soon as that happened and they come in, of course, if you think about it, they also sitting in the damn yard for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So it ain't like he had 4 minutes to get out.
They're sitting there. You go in. No, you go in.
Yeah, he had 2 hours and 4 minutes to sit, or so, you know what I mean. Basically 104 minutes.
Mm-hmm. So in interviews with detectives, Angel was unable to give any kind of description of this killer, other than the detail that he was a tall man. And it really wasn't anything that investigators could include in a profile. They couldn't, that's all they had to go on.
Right.
Just a tall man.
And really, I don't know, how would you even know that? All you're doing really is somebody tall, if you didn't talk.
Yeah, they don't narrow it down a lot.
I mean, I guess you just assume as a male, but, I mean, doesn't mean it had to be.
And this is another thing, too. Over the next couple of weeks, the Mooresville Police Department, they would tell the local residents not to be overly concerned with this crime.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Believing that no one else was in any kind of immediate danger or being harmed.
No, it's all good. Don't worry about it.
So this telling this, that they had the theory that the killer was someone that Matt knew. And that theory would get overshadowed by the first and only named suspect in this case. And this is when they theorized that at some point it could have been a guy by the name of Patrick Tracy Burris.
Well, it's just because a week later, I think there was a a bunch of killings going on in Gaffney, South Carolina, which is like 70 miles southwest of Mooresville.
Yeah. On a side note, Dale, we covered Patrick Tracy Burris on episode 104.
Right. And as soon as I started hearing this, I'm like, this ain't him.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, this is a goose hunt.
Yeah, we actually mentioned Matt Stewart in that episode, but we didn't get into this story.
Right.
But Burris was a suspect in this, but the things he did wasn't the MO for this type of crime.
Right. He went on a spree killing, and basically what he was doing, he had got out of prison. He was doing some stuff. He was with this lady up in Vail, North Carolina, and then they kind of split up, and he just kind of decided that this was going to be his last hurrah, and he went on a big drug raid, and basically he would just do drugs till he run out of money, and then that's when he started. He was just robbing and killing people.
He was
basically doing it to get money to get more drugs.
Yeah.
He wasn't going in somebody's house to shoot somebody in the bed for no reason.
No.
So that's why I'm like, it doesn't even make sense that they think of this guy.
Yeah, because if he was looking for money, he would have tried to steal something from the Stewart home.
Yeah, you wouldn't go in there in the middle of the night and shoot him in the bed.
No.
He would have waited till they was going to work or something, and then, whatever. And he probably wouldn't have done it in this neighborhood. Now, I think he was somewhere, had been in this area reportedly or whatever, and I think that's why they blamed him. Plus, he was a big dude. He was like 6'7" or something like that, a real big guy. So if he's standing in the doorway, you damn sure know it. So I think that's, they kind of went by that, plus the big guy, and then he's killing people in South Carolina, which is pretty close. And then so there's like trying to lay it on him, but I think they figured out fairly close that wasn't him.
Yeah. But Angel was put under hypnosis and able to give the authorities a description of this attacker they had in their home.
Now, how long after this was this?
About 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, and she did describe the perpetrator in the home, and she described him as being a tall, large-framed man that weighed about 250 pounds with pretty average facial features. And in this sketch, the man is bald, and he has a large forehead, narrow eyes that are set pretty wide apart, a large flat nose, and stubble covering his kind of a square jaw he had.
So you have night vision when you're hypnotized.
I guess.
Is that the way it works?
But we got a picture of this profile, the sketch we'll put on our socials and let everybody look at it.
Or do you think 6 months later she's already seen this stuff about Patrick Tracy Burris
or seen a picture of him in the paper?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, because this is a week later, and then they do this hypnotizing stuff 6 months later after all this is come and gone, and so she already knows all this.
I mean, if you hold it up and you look at Patrick Tracy Burris, it could be him, except for the bald.
Well, if she already knows what he looks like.
Yeah, she could describe him.
Now, I ain't never been hypnotized, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know how it works, but it's just kind of weird to me.
Yeah. I just
think
it
goes from not knowing nothing. Okay, think about it. You're in a bed, you're asleep. Somebody comes in and starts shooting. You see gun muzzle flashes. Your husband jumps up. They're in a fight. You jump up, run out the door. How much did you really see?
Very little.
I mean, even if you look dead at them and then they hypnotize you 6 months later, are you going to remember what he looked like? No, because you didn't really see nothing if it's dark.
You're just trying to get out.
Right. All you think about, get my kid and get the hell out.
That's right. But for years, Dale, the theory on this was that Matt Stewart was a victim of a home invasion just gone wrong. Perhaps a burglary that turned sour, and the culprit decided to take aim at Matt and Angel in their bed. But there's been a lot of people that's pushed back against this for a lot of reasons.
Well, first of all, he didn't take nothing.
Yep, and there was no forced entry into the home.
Right. Nobody kicked the door in. I mean,
no window broke or anything.
Right.
And there was no sign of anything being stolen, nothing of value reported missing.
No, nothing.
And there was also no reports of break-ins in the neighborhood before or after this murder, which would indicate this was not a burglar.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but there's something fishy going on.
And you'd think maybe somebody just walking around and just happened to find an unlocked back door to come in.
Yeah, at all those houses.
Yeah, what are the odds of that?
Mm-hmm. What? And no dogs are barking, no nothing. And there were dogs fairly close around. And
another thing we want to talk about too is Matt's mother-in-law. This would be Angel's mom,
Brenda
Hare. That night, it had been reported that she had a dream or a bad feeling
or a premonition, or God told her something.
Yeah, one of those things.
Now, she lived basically behind Concord Mills, which was, we're going to say 20, 25 miles away.
Yeah,
like that,
somewhere down there, yeah.
from where they are. Yeah.
30-minute drive.
Yeah, give or take, maybe 35, depending. But at night, it'd be
Middle of the night.
a little shorter probably. Well, somewhere in there. 30, 35 minutes, we'll say.
Yeah. So she had this premonition, dream, vision of somebody breaking into her home.
Yeah.
So she takes it upon herself to leave her home.
Well, she was thinking it was in her home, but when she woke up, she realized it wasn't. And then God told her that maybe it was at Angel's house.
Yes.
So just like any other mother would do, you just get up, you don't call, go jump in your SUV, and you drive to the store.
Yeah.
And get a gallon of milk.
Yeah, there's a store near there. I guess it's a 24-hour store. She got a gallon of milk, and she went to their house.
She still don't call.
Yeah, and she has a key to their home because I think she kept the kids quite a bit because they worked their 12-hour shifts and they worked a lot. So
Right, yeah, and I think at one time they tried to do the work separate shifts. You know, you
Yeah.
work these days, I work these days, and then they figured out, well, we never see each other, we never see the kids together. So then her mom stepped up and was doing a lot of babysitting so they could work the same schedule and then be off together.
yes,
So yeah, she was there in the neighborhood a lot, and people knew who she was and what she drove, and she was there, and she would come and take care of the kids. Therefore, she had a key, and and everything was cool.
but she gets this gallon of milk and then she goes to the house and
And all this is alleged, so we'll just go with that.
puts the milk in the fridge, and then she goes into the living room, grabs a blanket on.
Yeah, she don't. Usually, it was said by some of the neighbors that a lot of times she would, if she did this, I don't know how many times she drove up there in the middle of the damn night, but she would go and then maybe crash on the couch.
Yeah.
Into, I guess. But on this night,
She grabs a blanket
grabs her blanket and returns to her car
and goes to sleep in her vehicle.
in the driveway.
Yes,
But she got the milk in the refrigerator now.
well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
No one will spoil milk.
No, Lord no.
But she slept in her car in the driveway.
Now, it's reported that she left the door unlocked, but Angel said she opened the deadbolt. So
Yeah.
which one's true? Who knows?
I don't know.
Or if either. So go ahead.
But yeah, she was asleep out there in her car. During this time, her out there in the car, this is when Matt gets attacked. There's shots in the house.
Do we know what time she got there?
No.
Or how much time before all this was supposedly went down?
It was before the attack because
Was it 11 something? Or do we even know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I hope you get some of this stuff cleared up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we got questions.
But she was in the driveway asleep in her vehicle when all this attack was going on. Also in her vehicle, she was sitting there while Angel was fleeing the house with her youngest child across the driveway into the yard of the neighbor across the road.
Right.
Yeah.
So apparently, or supposedly, I should say, she's there sleeping in the car. All these gunshots are going off. All this attack happens. That her daughter comes out of the house with her child in her hand. I've been shot, runs across the road, gets the neighbor to call 911.
Mm-hmm.
While mama's asleep in the car in her driveway across the road.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That is the craziest mess, dude.
And then some people say, well, how do we know this? Well, we don't know all this for sure positively, but this is what we pretty much, we know that when the crime scene was put up, Mama's car was already in the driveway.
And when they put up tape, they blocked the roads off.
Yeah, they come in, block the road down, and put up the crime scene tape, I guess after all this happened. But Mama's car was in the driveway.
Brenda's car's there.
Yes.
So she had to be there before all this went down.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, as long as you got the milk in the refrigerator, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Why in the hell you stop and get a gallon of milk when you think something's going on? And why don't you just wake up and call? Why would you not?
Yeah, I woke up, had a bad feeling, and I just wanted to call, make sure. I hate to bother you.
Yeah.
The kids are asleep, but for my peace of mind, I just wanted to make sure everybody's okay.
Yeah, but no, I'm gonna go get in my car and drive for 35 minutes, and stop and get a gallon of milk. What do you do that for? Do you go in case they hear you come in? I figured you might need some milk. I thought I'd bring it up here to you, make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. It doesn't make any damn sense, dude.
Yeah. Brenda's whole story is very, very sketchy.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly.
All right, now there's another piece of information in this story, Dale.
Okay.
And it is the notion that Matt was looking to obtain a firearm. This
Right.
was in the months before his death.
Yes.
And there's a few of Matt's friends have spoken about this, him wanting to get a gun for home protection. And this was specifically in the week before his murder of June of 2009.
Yeah, even up to Sunday before.
Yes.
He was talking to one of his friends about this, and I mean, this was on Sunday, and he was killed that next Monday night.
And he was asking a friend to help him pick out the proper gun.
What he needed, yeah.
But it's unknown if it was due to any kind of threat or anything like that.
Right. He never said, I need it because so-and-so said he's going to do something or this or that. He just said he was kept using the home protection excuse.
So it makes me...
Which may be true.
It makes me wonder, did Matt get a gun and maybe he was killed with one of his own guns in the house and
wouldn't that be registered? I mean, they pulled... Well, I don't know.
They're not telling us anything.
They didn't find no gun, so we don't know. But if he had a gun and it was registered, they would know he should have one, unless he just picked one up off the black market, which is true, which is possible too. I know people do that.
Yeah. But if he had a gun of his own and they got in a fight and his gun got
taken from him,
he could have been killed with his own gun if he had a gun.
This is all if.
Yeah, it's all ifs.
Yeah, I got. You keep going. I'm gonna.
But another thing that gets me, these neighbors didn't hear a thing.
Nothing. Come on, dude. Nothing.
And you can look at this house on Google Street View, and they're just close together. They're right there together.
Yeah, especially the next door neighbor. If you look, if you're standing in the driveway looking at the house, the garage is on the right hand side, and then it's basically a garage, and then the house is kind of, it ain't real big. It's like the left hand side is like the front door, and then you got I guess I'm assuming the bedrooms up top because by the window pattern. But all right hand side of the house is garage. But on that left hand side, the house next door to the left is very close to their house. And I know people had said, well, if they're out so and so, it's not like they're in an apartment building or they're in something where they have room for the noise to bounce off stuff. If you're out in this kind of open area, then it's more, you wouldn't hear it. Well, that's bullshit, because I live way out in the country, and if I hear my neighbor shooting, I can hear it. My dogs are freaking out.
Yeah.
I mean, and you can hear it plain as day when gunshots go off.
Oh, absolutely.
So I don't buy that for a minute. So I don't know why nobody hears anything. It just blows my damn mind, dude.
But then there's another thing too. I don't know if it's worth mentioning or not. But
yeah, sure.
But before Matt got married to Angel in his younger days, it had been reported that he had a little bit of a drug problem. Yeah. I don't know how significant this is.
Yeah, it's never said, but it's always brought up. But nobody ever knew the severity of it.
Yeah.
And it's something he didn't really want to talk about, and something he wasn't proud of, because, I mean, he was a strong Christian man, and he was very, very deep in his faith at this time in his life.
He changed his life.
And he was 31 when he was killed, and they said somewhere around his 20s, probably teens to 20s, was probably the last time he'd done anything.
Yeah.
But, like you said, I don't know if it's come up, maybe a lot of people had said maybe it's someone in his past. But like I told you, well, unless he's dealing cocaine for the cartel or something, I don't think somebody's going to come kill him 10 years later in his bed.
Yeah, but there was some rumors that began to spread around that he was involved in some kind of illegal prescription drug distribution with him being a nurse. But here's the thing, his supervisors were questioned at the hospital.
Yeah.
And they checked his records, his check-in and check-out records for medication. They always have to be two people, when they dispense drugs, and they have to.
Yeah, I think her name was Amanda Collier, and she said that Matt's record was spot on.
Yeah, they wanted everybody to be like Matt's record.
Yeah, said they want at least like 97% on your draws or whatever. And sometimes, because the way it works, you had to you scan out the meds, you go in there, you scan the patient, you scan the meds, and they had it. And sometimes they said, that didn't happen, and you had to go log it in on a computer, but they didn't like you to do that because that just shows you didn't do it properly. Mm-hmm. And Matt worked some overtime, not all the time, but he would pick up a shift here and there to make extra money, and said that his is usually around 98%. And they were like, well, if he worked all these hours and still was at 98%, why can't everybody else be like Matt? So he was almost had an impeccable record.
They wanted everybody to be like Matt as far as come to the med distribution,
right,
to the patients.
Now I'm sure there's probably somebody saying, well, there's always a way around it, and you can do this, but you can't. In my opinion, and I have no idea because I'm not a nurse and I don't work in a hospital, but you would have to be able to steal a significant amount of drugs to be able to do something that would bring this kind of heat on you, and I think that would be noticed quickly.
Yeah, they've got it locked down pretty good.
Yeah. I agree, especially on opioids and that kind of thing that that would be worth stealing to make the money on.
Yeah.
Stuff you can't get.
Mm-hmm. But what blows my mind too, that this case has not been talked about much. It's not been covered. You don't hear anything about it.
It's hard to find anything about it.
Yeah, I know. And this is right here pretty much in our backyard.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. A few counties over from us.
I'm going to tell you, if it wasn't the work for Freddie Wilson and his podcast.
The Unforgotten Podcast.
Which is amazing, by the way.
It's several parts, and we recommend it to go and check it out, and because he has taken a deep dive into this, and it's one of the few outlets that you can find information on this.
And he's got a lot.
Yeah, he has interviewed people. He has talked to friends and family and a lot of people.
Right. And I think we're going to try to get him on here, because we got questions.
Yeah.
Whether he's got answers or not, I don't know, but he can let us know if we're way off base or something. And, after you guys listen to this, if you have questions, shoot them to us, and we'll be able to pass them on. But hopefully we can get him on here, and that's our goal.
But the Mooresville Police Department aren't telling anything on Matt's case. They don't let anything out.
No.
And even when the 10-year mark passed on this, 10 years, they didn't say anything about it.
Didn't even mention it.
No, it wasn't even mentioned at all.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they're not telling anything, dude.
And there's lots of rumors going on and stuff, but I don't know, dude.
I know you got some conspiracy theories. What are you thinking?
Pretty wild speculations, but like you said, you're thinking maybe it was maybe two gunmen or this or that and the other. And I mean, I don't know, and I don't know these people, and this is all just from doing this a lot. None of this makes any damn sense to me. First of all, she's barely grazed. He's shot to hell. I mean, it's just a bloodbath battle, overkill, stomped and stabbed. And one of the interviews in that other podcast said that, one of the ladies saw Angel a week later and she had a Band-Aid on her wrist. So It's not like she was shot through the arm, and, I mean, it was a grazed.
Yes.
That right there, right off the bat, I'm like, wait a damn minute. Now I guess you can pass that off as Matt gets out of the bed, tackles the guy, pushes him in the bathroom, and they're going at it, and she gets out and runs out. Okay, fine. And she leaves the kid in there. She runs across the road. She goes, help me, I've been shot. Call 911. Mm-hmm. Not, my kid's in there, I'm freaking out. There's someone in there, Matt. I mean, she doesn't even mention there's a major battle going in there. It's just basically, I've been shot.
Yes.
That kind of pissed me off right off the bat. Second of all, everything we know comes from her
account.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How do we know this timeline's right?
We don't. We're just going by what she said.
So Mama's there early. I mean, I don't want to throw this woman under the bus, but it looks like to me she's got to be involved. Now, she might not be, and I ain't saying she is. So don't come at me with a bunch of stuff. Just my brain is just, because we do this a lot. And to me, it's got to be an inside job, dude. I mean, there's rumors that they had a cookout the night before and somebody hid in the house for, I don't buy that.
Several hours just to...
It would have to be, the cookout was on Sunday, apparently, and this is Monday night, so it had to be in there the whole night and the whole day and wait till the middle of the next night?
Yeah.
Come on, man. And I don't know, dude. But the only thing I can't explain is why nobody heard any gunshots.
Yeah, I know.
Now, something could have happened. You said two people might have another gun in the house. What if she was in on it? She could have been the other shooter.
Or the stabber.
Would have said why she's covered in blood.
Mm-hmm.
As far as we go, hell, Mama could have been on it. She was there. It's her recollection that she went in the house and got a blanket, went back out and sat in the car. We don't know. I don't know. And I don't like to go wild speculation on this show because I don't want to just do that and be blatant, but something's going on here. And they can't find anybody else. You tell me how anybody else is going to come in there and shoot this guy to hell, and then at the most 10 minutes is gone.
Yeah, and knows where the bedroom's at, knows how to get around the house, to get out of the house quick. Because they ain't going to be no lights on.
They only found a half or quarter of a fingerprint.
Yes, partial.
And apparently it's unusable. No DNA that we know of. I mean, like I said, they're not telling us a lot.
They're not telling us.
But if something, I mean, you know how knife fights go. And then somewhere somebody said something about the guy had on a damn diving suit or something.
A wetsuit, yeah.
I don't believe that. But, I mean, maybe it was somebody from another hospital. They could have had on some kind of hazmat gear or some kind of something to keep, any kind of stuff getting off of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, dude. And I don't. I really.
Whoever
don't know.
killed Matt, they had some anger. They were pissed, and
Either that or Matt was beating that ass, and they just. I mean, he just kept going and going and going and going until he shot him through the brainstem and killed him.
Yeah. You can't tell me it was a home invasion. Somebody came in there specifically to target Matt.
2 different caliber guns.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just gets flustered.
Yeah, we're going to reach out to Freddie Wilson. He's the host of the Unforgotten podcast. It's several parts on this. We're going to see if we can get him on the show and answer some of these questions, dude.
Yeah, I'd like to run that by him. I mean, I don't know. I really hate to think that would be true, that they were in on it, but there's a lot of sketchy stuff going on, man.
Yeah.
I don't understand a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's inexplainable. I mean, the dude, another guy, the neighbor that lived right beside of him, after all of this was done, and you know, and even the mother-in-law was the one cleaning up the house, right? She didn't want to, basically just said she didn't want to pay the fees or whatever for some professional people to come in and clean up this house. And when people were coming in to replace some sheetrock and stuff, the neighbor next door said he could hear the screw guns when they were replacing the drywall.
Yeah.
But you can't hear a 40 caliber gun going off.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't
know if they had silencers or not.
Oh,
I mean,
come on, man. Who's got a damn silencer?
Nobody does.
This ain't Hitman on TV.
Yeah. This ain't the mafia down in Mooresville.
The Mooresville Mafia. Maybe,
Yeah.
Well, maybe it is. I don't know, but it just, and everything is, I'm flustered.
Yeah.
This poor man.
Yeah, he
doing
just
all he
loved
can do to
life.
protect his damn family. That's
Loved
what he's
life,
trying
loved
to
his
do.
job. He loved doing for others.
Now, they did check backgrounds, and they would try to find out if anybody was cheating on anybody. They didn't find nothing. Him and his wife both worked at different hospitals, so you could think, well, maybe something was going on, and she's trying to get rid of him for some reason. But from all accounts, they had a pretty good thing going. They did say that they'd had some financial troubles, but, you know, if they both, you know, hadn't been at their jobs very long, you know, and if they had a nice house and they said they both had fairly new vehicles, I can see you getting strapped for cash or something like that.
They had student loans too.
And they even had the house up for sale, you know, just in 2008 for a short time, and then took it back off.
Yeah.
But even if he was in debt to somebody, I just don't see. It just doesn't make sense to me. None of it does.
No.
And how he can just come in the bedroom and go to shooting and don't take them both out, and she just gets away, no problem. If there's two people, if it was 2 gunmen and one of them she didn't know, or she didn't know either one of them, I don't see then her getting out of the house.
I know.
And then that one child, I mean, for real wild speculation, maybe she doped up the other kid, was in on it, the guy comes in, then she was the other shooter, helped take him out, and it could have been way longer than 5 minutes, and then she runs across the street when it's time to start the show.
Because it's been reported that 3-year-old that didn't wake up, she never slept through the night much.
Yeah, she had a
Was
hard time
prone to
sleeping
wake up
and didn't like sleeping by herself.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was probably the transition from, you know, sleeping with them to sleeping to the bed, and we all know how that goes.
Oh yeah.
And then because now you got the littlest child, you know, just getting all the bed attention, because that's just the way it works. Because you can either let them scream or get them in there and go to bed, and everybody can sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's just. I mean, I feel like I'm really dumping on Angel when I don't know.
But she's never given any interviews, and the only thing she's ever given was on a music video of all things for a band called
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy Weave.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a Christian.
Supposedly a Christian rock band. I have not listened to the video.
No, but she pretty much tells her story. It's not detailed what happened. It's just her story of overcoming grief and stuff like that, and losing her husband. It's not.
Yeah, and she never mentions it's unsolved murder.
No.
And the family really kicked back on Freddie. They really don't want him digging it up. They want to just let it go.
Yeah.
Which is weird to me.
And Hannah, the oldest one, the one that was spending the night with a friend down the street, she has been interviewed by Freddie.
Yeah.
Freddie has talked to her. And he's gotten backlash from her
on
some stuff. and pretty much trashed him. And the family has been wanting to shut down his podcast.
Yeah.
But he said he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
He is staying with it, and he does not make any money on his podcast from what I heard.
Right, yeah, there's like bashing him, saying, what are you trying to make a name off yourself? He's like, he's just trying to bring attention to this case because there's not much out there, and the man, he deserves justice, dude.
Exactly.
Because this is such a brutal crime with nothing. Nothing. They don't have anything.
No.
Anything except for mama's in the driveway and brought him some damn milk.
Yeah. I wish the police would let something loose.
It's been, what, 10, 11 years now?
Yeah. But I know
No, it's been longer than that.
This was 2009.
Right.
15 years, 14 years. But at the time, the governor of North Carolina, Bev Perdue, did offer a $5,000 reward for information, and it has went up since then. It's $11,000.
Well, I mean, you know, hell, Mooresville Police, the SBI, they've been in this, which I know there was a bunch of stuff went on with the Mooresville Police Department after this, with the corruption and this kind of stuff, or whatever it was. If you can't think and find nothing in 14 years, give it to somebody else and let them look.
Exactly.
I think, hell, Freddie's probably done more digging than they have. It seems like it anyway, but, I mean, and everything he found, he gave to them, whether they wanted to look or not.
And another thing, too, is kind of odd about this. After this happened, Angel and the 3 kids, they disappeared. They went to live on a farm.
Yeah, a family friend farm or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was somebody from their church.
Mm.
And this church, I have questions about it.
Yeah.
It's
been called cult-like.
Yeah, it is. And they believe in things like able to resurrect people and things like that.
Yeah.
I think even at one of the gatherings, they even tried to resurrect Matt. Yeah, it's been reported.
I didn't want to comment on that.
Yeah, that's just, yeah. But this is a messed up case, dude, and it's still unsolved, and Matt deserves justice. His mom and dad, I don't know what's up with his mom and dad. I hadn't heard anything about them.
They pretty much stayed out of everything we heard.
Yeah.
And you don't really hear much about Angel's dad. It's always her mom.
Yeah.
And she's definitely right up in the middle of all this.
I do know Freddie has talked to Matt's sister. He has interviewed her.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're going to try to get Freddie on here and get some more answers and to some of this.
Get something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because this is really...
Yeah, if we can get hold of Freddie.
Yeah, shoot us some questions. Be glad to pass them on to him, because I'm sure you guys got questions now, because this is just a whole bunch of... It's a big mess.
And Dale's pissed off with this.
I get flustered, man. When nothing makes sense, and everything to me points at the wife, and it's set up with the mother-in-law. I mean, she could have come up there early. They could have drugged the kid to make sure. I mean, I don't want to say drugged. Let's say just give her melatonin or something. I don't know. I don't mean they shot her off with
Here's
heroin.
half a Benadryl or something.
You know, or something like that. You know, where she ain't gonna wait. But still, dude, 6 gunshots, at least 6.
Mm-hmm.
When we're looking at the autopsy report, that's what I counted, 6. But it's really technical and a little over my head. But
yeah, above your pay grade.
Way, yeah. They use all them words.
But that is the case of Matt Stewart, murdered in 2009.
And he deserves justice.
He does.
Something, man. And basically, everybody else is basically just they're on the just let it go. We've moved on, let it go.
Yep.
But I just don't. Okay. Those are all.
But if anybody's listening to this and they want to do something, they can reach out to the leadership of Mooresville, town of Mooresville. Reach out to the mayor, the police chief, the city councilor, anyone. I mean, these people work for us.
Yeah.
Demand something to be done in his case.
Correct.
All right, dude, we're going to get out of here.
Let's roll.
We want everyone to be safe. Just please be careful and always be aware of your surroundings.
Because the next episode could be about you.
This is the Crack House Chronicles.